evening, everybody. My name is Reverend Maria Leggett, and I'm coming to you live from Dayton, Ohio. I literally have the greatest producer ever who makes me laugh, which is why I always start this show laughing. The things that he says in my ears are hysterical. So I am so excited. This is November 1st. Today is All Saints Day, and yesterday was All Hallows Day. All Hallows Eve was on Monday. I'm trying to remember what day of the week it is. And so this is said to be the time of the year when the veil is the thinnest between this world and the unseen world. And the answer is, everybody asks me, why is that? And the answer to that question is that because we start celebrating the light coming back to life with Beltane on May 1st, and that is when the light begins coming back to life. And then 6 months later, is yesterday, which is October 31st. And Samhain or Halloween is the third feast of three feasts to celebrate the harvest and being able to pull in the crops and all of the things coming in. And so that was basically like our first Thanksgiving, long before we had anything with the States. And that was all over in Europe, where we would celebrate and have a feast and share, and people would go around to each other's houses. They would be dressed up in a sheet or in different clothing so they could honor the ancestors that time of the year, because they could tell that they were around. And so a lot of the times they would wear the skeleton, the head skeleton of a horse or of a cow, something that was very large that they could actually put on their own head. And they would go knocking door to door, which is a great way for them to have been able to honor the ancestors. And when they would show up, they would always offer food or something to them to say thank you to the ancestors for showing up. And that is pretty much how Halloween and Trick or Treat Beggars Night was created. So that is a very long standing tradition. So I love being able to talk about everything that has to do with spirit, why things are the way they are, because this right now, we are right smack in the middle of that first half of the year where it was all light. And this is the second half of the year where we're going to be much darker. And it's the easy way for so many people to be able to get messages from their crossover loved ones, to be able to see the signs and the symbols. Often we are smelling things, right? We can smell different kinds of things going on. So, all righty. So we have Loretta from Miamisburg, Ohio. Hello, my darling. How are you?
Hi, Maria. I'm good. How are you?
I am doing very well. How can I help you tonight, love?
Um, just some future answers to the questions that you probably know that I already have.
I do. So for anybody watching this, Loretta is one of my clients. So I love that she made it onto the show.
Me too.
All right. So we're just looking for some answers. All right, Spirit, show me what we need to know. I'm going to use that beautiful deck. I'm using a beautiful deck called the Halloween Oracle, and it is by Stacy D. DeMarco, just Stacy DeMarco. All right. So here we go. They just dropped a couple of cards for me. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to use tonight, Loretta, we have the word scrying. And this card is the scrying card, and it has a beautiful crystal ball on it, and it has candles. And on there with the scrying, it says intuition. And Spirit says that it is really important for you to really begin trusting your intuition. And your intuition is different than your ego. And the way that they're trying to tell me is that when your intuition is on and you're understanding what's happening, it is a different feeling than when your ego kicks in. And they're telling me that when your ego kicks in for you, you feel it kind of like a pit in your stomach going, oh my God, it's just the worst thing possible. And Spirit says that they want you to step into, it doesn't have to always be the worst scenario possible. So they're asking you to step into trust for them, knowing that they've got your back, knowing that they're going to support you through everything that you are experiencing in this moment, and that they are proud of you for showing restraint the other day when you needed to. I don't know what that means, but that's what they're telling me.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, good. I'm glad. So the next one we have is Lady de los Muertos, which I love. I love, 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 right? So we have Santa Muerte, who is known as the death goddess. She's absolutely beautiful and amazing. And what's
Can you
underneath
repeat
the
that? I'm sorry. Who is it?
Lady de, Lady de los Muertos. And
Okay.
she's the Muertos is death, so it's the Lady of Death. And the words underneath
Okay.
it say acceptance and equality. So it's important for you to be able to step into acceptance for the situation that you're in, knowing that the system that you are working within is really trying to find the most equal and safe place for the youngest person in the situation. I'm trying to be really careful about what I say.
I
And
appreciate that.
so, oh, my pleasure. And so for you to know, sometimes it becomes important to turn the other cheek. And there are other times when you need to address the situation head on. And that's why they're talking about you showing the restraint, because it was really important that you turned the other cheek in that situation, because everybody is looking at you and your reaction. And are you going to perpetuate and make a difficult situation stay difficult? Or are you the answer to stepping out of that situation? Does that make sense?
That makes absolute sense. Yes.
Perfect. So the next card we have is Graveyard. And so it's got a headstone on it, and it has this beautiful, huge, it's a pumpkin, but it's an orange moon behind it. And it says unnecessary fear. And so for those who are able to watch on TV, here's the beautiful card. Um, with the unnecessary fear, Spirit is talking about you've been through so many things in your life that your go to is automatically, oh my God, it's the worst thing possible. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely. Absolutely.
And and so it's really important that you start stepping out of fear and stepping into trust. And they're showing it to me. The very difference is, just to use some very black and white things, is that fear is this very dark, dense, heavy energy. And when we sit in that fear, because we know the law of attraction means like attracts like, when you're stepping into fear, you're bringing fear in towards you, Loretta, rather than bringing in the love, acceptance, and the light that you're looking for. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, definitely.
And so what they're asking you to do is when you step into trust and say, "All right, God, here's the deal. I know you've got my back. I know this is difficult, but I'm handing all of this over to you and trusting that the right outcome is going to happen even if I don't like the outcome. I know that you have a bigger plan than me." And that's going to be you stepping from that dark, heavy, dense energy into gray, going over into completely white, which is full of trust, and that you're going to be able to feel less tension, less difficulty, because they're taking me right into my neck and my shoulders where I'm really uncomfortable, and I want to start rolling my shoulders back and saying, "Oh, it hurts because I'm so stressed." Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. I'm having a hard time surrendering. And my guides
I
have
can
been
totally,
telling me I need to
yep, I
surrender.
can totally understand why. And that's what they want. They really are hammering home surrender for you, because they do know what they're doing. They promise you. And, one day when you're on the other side in the unseen world, you're going to be able to see why everything played out the way it did. But right now, because we're in these heavy, dense skin suits, we don't always get to know the why. And that becomes really hard for us, especially when we're as women. We want to fix things and make it all right for everybody. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So the
Absolutely.
last card we have, which I love this time of year, we have the ancestors. And this is showing it's a beautiful tree that has like DNA running up the trunk. It's absolutely gorgeous. And underneath it, it says the love and legacy of our DNA. And so there are family on the other side. I want to talk about definitely the the female line of your family, so mom, grandma, great grandma, that you have all of these beautiful ancestors who are supporting you and asking you to be ready to step out of fear because they lived in fear as well. And so all of these situations are presenting themselves because we're ready to stop living in fear. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely does.
And
Definitely in the bloodline.
yeah, so they're showing it to me as though you are their hope. You are their star. You are the light because they were not able to recognize their own inner light while they were here. They stayed in fear. And I definitely want to talk about them, like going all the time going, "Oh my God, don't do that. What if? What if? What if?"
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
And you Yep, you don't have to do all of that what if. You need to trust that spirit has your back, Loretta. They're going to take care of you. They're going to help take care of the situation. And again, we have to be prepared for maybe it's not the way we want it to be. However, know that spirit has a reason for why it's happening right now. Um, Although the interesting thing is they literally just showed me as though gates are opening up and it's clearing a
Mhm.
path for peace and happiness and a resolve in the relationship between you and the one generation behind you, which will help the generation by that. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely does.
So it's going to help your offspring, which in turn helps that offspring. So they're really just asking you to step into trust, know that they are there for you, and they are going to love and support you through all of this. And the gates are going to be opening. They're just asking you to be patient.
I'm trying. I have been for a long time.
Awesome. I know, I know. Thank you so much, Loretta, for joining my show tonight. I am so grateful for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so grateful
Thank
to all of
you.
you who are watching. This has been such a tremendous thing. I love being able to do this with you. Come and see me at marialeggett.com to book your one-on-one private reading. And I hope to see you here next week, every Wednesday at 8:45 p.m. Eastern on askoneradio.com. Have a wonderful evening.